gaming, which platforms benefited the most from COVID-19. Everything was on a rocket ship ride to the freaking moon in terms of the number of streamers, in terms of the number of viewers on every platform. Where did everyone go once Mixer closed down? We finally have all of the numbers to say, did they go to Twitch? Did they go to YouTube gaming? Did they go to Facebook gaming? And where are the opportunities for you guys to grow fastest if you want to go full-time as a gaming live streamer? We got all the freaking answers by the numbers in this episode of the Digital Drop Podcast. Let's go, baby, let's go! This podcast is sponsored by Restream. Why live stream to one platform when you can simultaneously live stream to every platform to discover new audiences faster using Restream.io?
If you've never seen this report, here's the breakdown. Essentially, Streamlabs collects streaming data from Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube every single day and release quarterly reports breaking down everything from the total hours watched and streamed on each platform to average concurrent viewerships and even increases in unique channels. We pulled this up to make sure that you have all the facts and can make the best decisions on your streaming strategy moving forward. So no more wasting time, let's dive in. Perrin, I'm looking at this total hours watched number, and I went from having no coffee and this completely woke me up. It almost seems unbelievable.
Yeah, so this is the first time that Facebook has hit 1 billion total hours watched on their platform, making up 14% of all of the hours watched in total between Twitch, YouTube gaming, and Facebook. So Twitch making up 63.6% of that pie, still, dominating in terms of hours watched, and YouTube gaming at 22.5%. I'm going to compare us back to last quarter real quick, just on this pie chart alone, because it's kind of nice to see where Mixer went. Mixer had 1.4%. You can see they didn't have a lot of the total hours watched. Facebook had 11 previously, YouTube gaming at 20, and Twitch had 67. So Twitch went down by about 4%. YouTube gaming went up by 2.5%, and Facebook went up by 3%. So a nice increase for the new players in total hours watched, and Twitch actually decreasing from its previous quarter, from Q2 2020 here. So I thought that was interesting. I thought we would see an increase in Twitch and viewership, total hours watched, but actually that is not the case. Facebook continues to grow. YouTube gaming continues to grow. It's kind of nice. I kind of like to see it. What do you think here, AWOL?
Well, I mean, for me, what's really interesting, you were looking at the nonstop growth. We saw this in the previous report too from Stream Hatchet. You're looking at the nonstop growth of Facebook gaming from about a year ago to today. And Facebook gaming year over year has grown by 100% in terms of its viewership. YouTube gaming over the last year has grown by 70% over the last year. And then now you're looking at Twitch kind of doing a wobble in terms of how much it's grown, because it's trying to absorb the majority of the streaming industry. And if the whole streaming industry tanks a little bit, it tanks along the way. So I'm not surprised to see Twitch still being number one, but I think as we move into 2021 and 2022, Twitch's portion of the pie, the percentage that it has, is going to continue to shrink. And when we look at, let me go pull the screen back up here. When we continue to look at this total hours watch chart right here, we're going to see that blue section, Facebook gaming, getting bigger. We're going to see the red section with YouTube gaming getting bigger, and Twitch's section, I'm going to predict it right now, they are not going to have the majority of the streaming hours watched in 2021 by the end of the year. I think that they're going to have less than 50% if these trends continue. And Facebook is probably going to be about the same size as YouTube gaming as we move into the end of 2021. And so streamers out there that are looking for where are the opportunities to grow? Where can I make this thing happen? You want to be on the platforms that are on the rise, that are getting more of the pie, and Facebook gaming and YouTube gaming are getting more of the pie. And Twitch, every single day that passes, Twitch is getting less of the pie.
All right, we got a lot to get through. So let's go through now to total hours streamed. So that was total hours watched. We come down here to total hours streamed. It's a different story. 91.1% of total hours streamed are being streamed on Twitch. Now, we just said total hours viewed has decreased since last quarter, but this is an increase. Let's compare it to Q2 real quick. 76.5%, 14.4% of the hours streamed were on Mixer. It looks like all of that went to Twitch.
Oh my
Oof.
gosh. All that mixer
Yeah.
chunk, that light blue chunk
So-
there went straight to Twitch. Twitch absorbed it like Agario style. That's a reference from 4 years ago, but that's crazy, man. 91% of the hours streamed are on Twitch now. Look at the tiny sliver of YouTube and Facebook.
When we say Twitch is the dominant player, eating Mixer made them just even more dominant. They have no competition now. So, I mean, Facebook gaming did actually increase from 2.4% to 3.4%. So they got a 1% increase in total hours streamed. Yay, go them. YouTube gaming actually went down from 6.7 to 5.5. So during this Mixer devouring, Twitch also ate up a little bit of the YouTube gaming hours streamed as well. And so Twitch is just dominant. Like most people, 91.1% of the total hours streamed between these three platforms are being done so on Twitch. Now, as we get through this, we'll see it's actually a good thing or a bad thing. This tells a similar story as well. So I'm just going to go down to this one too before we kind of analyze this. Unique channels, Twitch, 90% of the unique channels are on Twitch. Facebook is at 2.2%, which I think is a 1% increase from last quarter. YouTube gaming live is at 7.8%, which is an actual increase from last quarter as well, from 6.5. So YouTube gaming got more unique channels. Facebook got more unique channels. Twitch ate all of Mixer unique channels, so now it's back up to 90%. It's like Mixer didn't even exist. It's just gone from the face of the planet, and Twitch is back to number one. So yeah, this is pretty much what I expected. You know, Facebook having like a marginal increase here. YouTube gaming increased in unique channels, but decreased in total hours streamed, which is interesting. And then Twitch just boom up to 90%. It's most of the market share of live streaming now. It's the juggernaut in the room. Did we see anything different than this? Is this pretty much what we predicted, guys?
Guys, I would like to say AWOL here. Hey guys, it's AWOL here on the screen. Hi. I predicted that Twitch would be over 10 million with this next report, and I was right. That's all I have to say about it. Thank you. But here's the interesting part. If we go back to the report, Facebook only absorbed a small amount of channels, actually, which is really interesting. And so what does that mean for Oopsie? What does that mean? There we go. What does that mean for everybody on Facebook? This is good, I think, for everybody on Facebook. Facebook still only has a couple 100,000 channels on it, and that's exactly what you want. It's lower competition, but the viewership is growing exponentially on Facebook. That's awesome. YouTube gaming almost cresting over 1 million active channels is concerning to me. That means that the opportunity to grow on YouTube gaming is now shrinking because the competition is getting so large. So you want to be where there is a low supply and a high demand. And there's still a very, very, very low supply of streamers on Facebook with only 2% here, guys. So keep that in mind. I mean, can you break through easier with 200,000 people, Ross, or 10 million? Where are your odds going to be best?
The question I actually had here, because we've talked about before how, you know, the more unique viewers that a channel or that a platform has. Excuse me, sorry, I'm choking up. The more unique viewers that a platform has, the better, compared to as I completely just lost my train of thought here.
It's okay.
I'll come back to that in one second.
We need more coffee for Ross. So unique channels. This is good. So the streaming industry is over like 12 million streamers now. Let's continue to go down the charts here, Perrin, because we have so many more insights to get into.
Yeah. So this is total hours watched. I'm gonna actually skip through this because we just kind of saw that in pie chart form. And we'll get to top esports here in a second. What I want to get to is these total hours watched, but broken down between the platforms. I love these line charts. And this is what I was interested in seeing. So we were looking at last quarter, the skyrocket of COVID-19 and Q1 of 2020, Twitch total hours watched just going through the roof. We were wondering what was going to happen in the next couple of quarters. Is it going to go up? Is it going to go down? Is it going to plateau? We predicted it was going to drop, and it did. It dropped from 5.1 trillion to 4.7. So that's not a huge decrease, but it's no longer the increase. The COVID-19 bump is no longer there still. Total hours watched did decrease through the summer, which we did talk a little bit about yesterday. That makes sense. Despite there being a lockdown or quarantining in a lot of places, this dropping in the summertime makes sense. I don't think we were going to see this continue to skyrocket month over month. So there is a ceiling. It's this 5 number, and now it's coming down. I think from here, where I think we might see it kind of wobble now back and forth. We're going to see it go up. We're going to see it go down, but it's going to stick around in this 4.5 to 5.2 number of total hours watched on Twitch. Is this? I mean, we predict this, right? Well, do I have anything different here?
No.
And
I mean, this is the new plateau.
This
is the new plateau for Twitch. Now that everybody has kind of flooded into the streaming scene, people lost their jobs. COVID is still in full effect. I'd say 4 to 5 million hours watched here on this chart is about the new normal for Twitch. And I agree, it will continue to wobble. The only question is Facebook gaming and YouTube going to take market share away from Twitch and cause this number to decrease over time? We don't really know the answer yet. We'll have to wait until 2021 and 2022 reports to find out.
Yeah. So let's take a look then. So that's total hours watched. That went down. Total hours streamed, however, went up a little bit from 203 million to 205. So not a significant increase, just a marginal increase. Not the dramatic shift of like almost 80 million from Q4 2019 to actually no, it's basically 100 million from Q4 2019 to Q1 2020.
Yeah.
The COVID bump doubled the platform's hours streamed. Think about that. Like Twitch for a year or more was plateaued, and then COVID-19 happened and it doubled the platform's total hour stream. Suddenly you have a bunch of gamers with nothing else to do and a lot of people who can't work or whatever anymore. Now everybody can stream, and that's what they did. But now that we're up at this level, this 210 level, we're plateauing for the most part. This is the new norm. Even though total hours watched decrease, there's still more streamers. And I bet you if we look at unique channels next, we'll see that increase as well. But more hours are being streamed, even though there aren't as many hours being watched. That generally is going to happen, especially since Twitch just ate a whole bunch of Mixer pizza. And there's a bunch of streamers there who likely have no audience. So they're streaming a lot of hours versus no additional viewership. So this is pretty much what we expected to see.
Yeah, it is. It's exactly what we expected to see. And Twitch only went from 9 million unique channels last quarter to 10 million this quarter. And so all this shows us is that the people that joined Twitch in terms of unique channels are just as active as a normal streamer there. So there's really no change. There's no zombie bodies pumping into Twitch with no viewership, like really tanking the platform or anything like that. Twitch is large enough to kind of take on that large load of streamers that left Mixer, all the Mixer refugees, and to be able to absorb the hit and be able to keep viewership super high as a result. So this means that Twitch is a very healthy platform that can really absorb the entire industry's impact if platforms change or open up, etc. It shows the resilience of Twitch. Let's keep going through the report, amigo.
Yeah. So unique channels, same deal. About a similar increase here in actually it's only 200.
Hey, they changed their numbers.
Or so.
The last report had them at less than 10 million last quarter. They changed the numbers, dude.
Didn't they? Let's take a look. I want to see this real quick. Let's scroll down.
Am I incorrect here?
There's a total hour stream.
See, look, they changed their numbers right there. Look. It said Q2 is 9.9 million. Now in the next report, look at that. I know their numbers better than they do. Yeah. They changed their numbers report to port. AWOL just caught you, Streamlabs and Stream Hatchet. It doesn't matter. So basically the number of streamers went from about 10 million to a little more than 10 million on Twitch. So everybody take notice. When you're wondering, how much competition am I up against on Twitch? Can I break through? 10 million people. This is basically like standing in the middle of New York City and yelling at the top of your lungs, "Hey guys, pay attention to me," as an airplane flies above your head. Do you think the airplane's going to see you? I mean, it's literally that. Are they going to pay attention to you, or are they going to pay attention to the other 10 million people? Good luck getting noticed. It's so preposterous how much competition's on Twitch. And this is why we talk about all the time why people should be restreaming. Why aren't you streaming on all of these platforms at the exact same time? We've got a link in our description. And Perrin, if you have a second to post that, post the link to our affiliate link and code DROP30. Stream on Facebook Gaming, stream on YouTube Gaming, and stream on Twitch at the exact same time. You don't need to go exclusive to any of these platforms. Benefit from the entire industry growing right now by restreaming to all 3 platforms at the same time. Restream sponsors this podcast. We're currently streaming on DLive, Trovo, Periscope, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook ourselves. And Andrew Perrin's actually been restreaming across all these platforms. He's now making just from scratch, only streaming. In just a couple months, he's now making $1,000 a month doing side hustle streaming a mobile game. And it's all because of the restreaming strategy that's helping bust that wide open for him. And for him to start moving into the thousands of dollars as he moves into next year with his streaming strategy. Restream works, we use it, and that's why we're recommending it to you. Back to the report.
Yeah, so I got to say something here before we continue on to the next platform. I predict, we haven't done any predictions here. So I want to do a prediction here. I'm going to say that Twitch's unique channels are going to continue to go up, up, up. Not at a huge rate, not at the rate I'm making this current arrow. It's going up gradually. The hours watched will fluctuate, but are generally going to be going down. And especially as we clear up or hopefully get past a worldwide pandemic and more countries do a better job at this over time, and we get through it in the next 2 years or so, we're going to see the unique channels stay up, the total hours watched go down. Twitch, my prediction will be Twitch has never been and will never be more competitive than it is now and into the future. So it's the best time to look for other options. It's the best time to restream. It's never been more competitive than it is now. There's so many unique channels that have just been added. I mean, look, we went from 4 million to 10 million. That's a lot. That's more than double competition. And yes, the viewership increased to a new plateau, but it's not going to stay there. It's going to come down eventually. And I don't think the unique channels are going to come down at the same rate. I think they're going to stay. And now you've got Ninja back, you've got Shroud back. So you've got all of those legions of fanboys who want to be streamers like them, who also stream to 0 concurrent viewers, and they're bloating the platform. It's a recipe, make it very, very difficult for a newcomer to make it on Twitch. It's going to be the hardest it's ever been to get there. Now, that's not to discourage you guys from trying to do it, but maybe come at it at an angle like using Restream. Let's move on. Just to reiterate, Twitch average concurrent viewership.
This is the most important number, in my opinion, Perrin. Everybody take out your pen. Average concurrent viewership right now on Twitch went down. This is the total size of the pie. And just to simplify this for everybody, obviously this number went up from the end of last year. We were at 1.2 million average concurrent viewers at any given time on Twitch. This is the total size of the pie, the total available audience. This spiked up to 2.3 million, so it nearly doubled, moving into Q2 of this year with COVID. And then it went down to 2.1 million moving into Q3. So Twitch is not on some exponential growth curve right now. It went up and now it's kind of found its new plateau. So guys, let's just quickly do the math. There are 10 million streamers on Twitch right now. 10 million. And there are about 2 million, if we want to simplify it, viewers on Twitch at any given time. So that is only how many viewers per streamer? Perrin, can you do the quick math on that? How many viewers per streamer are there? 1/5 of a viewer for every streamer. 1/5 of a viewer for every streamer. So those are not good odds. There was 1/5 of a viewer for every streamer. So we're going to do the math on the other platforms as we go through the report. But that's just the number. That's the only, if you take only one thing away from all this analysis we're doing on Twitch's numbers, is that there was 1/5 of a viewer for every single streamer on Twitch. Those odds are bad. And that means that there are millions of dead zombie body channels, 0 view channels on Twitch that are going nowhere. And you got to somehow climb up that zombie wall, get past millions and millions and millions and millions of streams to get to the top, to then start to get a viewer, to get one viewer. Because on average, you're only getting 1/5 of a viewer at any time you go live on Twitch. That is crazy. Let's move on to the next platform, Perrin.
I think I have you back. Do you have me?
I'm here. I'm here.
Okay. I lost everything for a moment there, so sorry about that. Where are we at? What did I miss? We're on concurrent viewership.
Next platform. I just told everybody Twitch odds of growing is bad. Keep going.
All right. Concurrent viewership. Yeah, that's about what I expected to see. Let's go to YouTube gaming. This one's nice. Total hours watched. A nice increase. Actually, a pretty consistent increase. Almost as strong as the COVID bump. So that's actually huge. I didn't expect this. I thought that YouTube gaming would have plateaued as well. But it's not quite as steep, but it's still a pretty steep growth from 1.5 trillion to 1.67 trillion. So that's a pretty big increase because we're talking trillions of views here. That's good. YouTube, more people watching YouTube gaming. That's great. That's what we were hoping for. Again, YouTube gaming is a little bit hard to rely on because they might just totally decide to change things on us. But with a growth curve like this, since Q3 2019, since they've made changes to their platform, they have a consistent, solid, straight line up instead of this plateau that they had since Q3 28, which was at like 600 trillion, and they maybe went up slowly at 700 trillion. So now whatever they've changed, I think they'd be really hesitant to change and screw up this growth because it's a nice sharp incline.
I agree with that. And once again, we've talked about this before. We helped launch YouTube gaming, and when it launched, they gave it a lot of juice, and then they pulled the juice back with the algorithm. But look, numbers don't lie. We can say they were spotty in the past from 2017-ish to today, 2018, 2017-ish to today. They were a little spotty there in that first section Perrin drew a line on. But from 2019, the end of 2019 to today, that is literally, I mean, just look at it. These are the numbers. You don't have to take our opinion on it. That is hockey stick growth right there. That is a 45-degree angle straight into outer space with the amount of viewership that's happening with live on YouTube gaming. This makes it, in my opinion, the second best platform to grow organically, no paid, as a streamer right now, just simply because the audience is just shooting through the roof. Let's take a look at the rest of the YouTube gaming numbers. Take us through the rest of this report, amigo. Oh my God. See, there's the hour stream. See what we're talking about with the volatility on YouTube? See, here's the story, right? So YouTube gaming launched right here at the beginning, right? And then everybody was like, oh my God, YouTube gaming's the shit. This app is so cool. YouTube's taking it seriously. Then all of a sudden, everybody abandoned ship on the platform because the algorithm, they turned off the juice. I mean, that's the most simple way to explain it. And so then once everybody did that, they're like, hold on a second. If everybody left, there's a growth opportunity here. And so people started streaming on YouTube gaming again, and it went back up. And then now look at this. This is a fascinating thing that happened. It went way down again in Q3 20. What happened here, dude? I mean, for those of you listening to the audio version, last quarter at the peak COVID, 17 million hours streamed. But now it went down to 12 million hours streamed. So that's like close to a 30%, 25 to 30% dip in the amount of streaming activity on YouTube gaming this last quarter. Perrin, why do people get less active on YouTube?
You know, I guess there could be a lot of answers to that. I think I can only really speculate, to be honest, but I would say, you know, with YouTube gaming, gamers really don't know whether to take the platform seriously because it's so volatile. And they saw it increasing with COVID. I think they saw greener pastures, honestly. I think they saw greener pastures with Twitch. I think they saw greener pastures with Facebook gaming. And I mean, they saw other platforms clearly giving them more traction. And so you see the decrease here. They're just not holding consistent numbers here. And it's just not reliable. Like, it's been so volatile. It's really hard for creators who just want to be live streaming gaming to just continue to just rely just on YouTube. They have to be thinking about some other platform. They have to be focusing on some other platform. And they try YouTube because they probably have a VOD strategy there or a clips channel or something. And maybe they'll try some live and it doesn't really work out. And so they bail. And that's what we're seeing. I mean, what's your speculation here? Because I really don't have much good to go on. I mean, and I'm just speculating. Do we have any data? Can we pull anything concrete from the data that says creators are doing this because of a very tangible reason?
I want to look at the rest of the numbers first. Let's take a look at the rest of the numbers first, because I want to see how the channels have been trending over time and how the CCV has been trending over time. Then we can make a conclusion about YouTube overall, because we don't have enough data to make a conclusion. I don't want to insert my opinion here. I only want to do analysis in the episode. Hit me with more YouTube data, Amico.
So despite the COVID-19 bump that all the gaming places have gotten with live streaming, YouTube gaming live unique channels, it didn't bring over live unique channels. It's relatively plateaued. In fact, in this last quarter, it dropped from 1 million down to 900,000, which is basically keeping it in this range here it's been in since Q3 2019. It hasn't pulled out of this range. So the huge spike in viewership and the huge spike in hours watched, I mean, it's really going to the same live unique channels that have been there since the end of last year. There really has not been that many. There was a tiny little bump here for COVID-19, just tiny, just marginal, from 800,000 to 1 million, and then now it's back down to 900. They didn't get much. Not many people saw the COVID-19 bump and thought, "Oh, I'm going to stream to YouTube gaming now." No one thought that. Basically, that's the story here that I'm getting.
Yeah, that seems pretty true. I mean, the numbers don't lie. 1 million streamers down to 900,000. I thought that YouTube was going to go cresting over 1 million, maybe 1.2, 1.3 million. It went down. This is very, very good news so far for anybody looking to stream on YouTube. This means that competition decreased over the last quarter, and the amount of activity from streamers on the platform decreased over the last quarter. That means competition is going down on YouTube, but YouTube overall as a platform obviously continues to grow and go up, up, up. This is good news for streamers. Keep going.
All right.
Here's my favorite chart. Here's my favorite chart. Yes. Oh my goodness.
CCV chart.
Yep.
Going up, going up, going up. So here's the thing. You know, there aren't really any new unique channels. And in fact, they've decreased a little bit, but viewership has increased. And the concurrent viewership, it continues to trend up, and the same amount that the hours watched has been like trending up about the same rate the whole time, which is good. This means for those that have stuck with YouTube gaming and they haven't deviated from it from the end of last year, they've been seeing more and more concurrent viewership increase. So what this tells me, and I want to get your analysis here in a sec too, AWOL, is it tells me that the YouTube creators who are sticking with YouTube and they're consistent and they stream a lot and they are getting benefit from this. They are getting concurrent viewership growth. They're getting hours watched growth. New people who are trying to figure out what platform to go to and they're picking YouTube, but then they're kind of trying other stuff. They're not getting much at all. You really got to invest into YouTube over a long period of time and do the algorithm right. And then you're starting to see growth over a longer period of time. Basically over a year's worth period of time, you'll get rewarded. So it's a long-term investment. It's paying off for creators who are there already, but for new ones hopping over, I don't think they're seeing much. What do you think?
Let's just do the basic math we just did with Twitch. Okay, so Twitch, there were 10 million streamers, but there were only about 2 million viewers at any given point. 1/5 of a viewer per streamer. YouTube, there's 900,000 channels, and there's about 800,000, let's say, 750,000 viewers at any given point. So you're close to a 1-to-1 ratio where you're almost at 1 viewer per streamer. So your odds are roughly, just back of the napkin math, 5 times better to get a viewer per viewer that you want to get on YouTube versus Twitch. So you have roughly 4 to 5 times better odds of getting a viewer on YouTube versus Twitch. Not to mention YouTube has an actual algorithm that can help you get discovered. Literally the best discovery algorithm on planet Earth. So far, that's the real story that you guys need to take away here, is that it's 5 times more difficult by the numbers to get growth on Twitch than it is on YouTube. Let's dive into Facebook gaming now and see how Facebook gaming odds play out with the number of streams versus the number of viewers. And we can really make a side-by-side comparison and give you a final conclusion. Just by the numbers, where are your odds the best? Let's get into the Facebook gaming numbers.
Okay, so they've gone up from last quarter, which was 970 million, and they've hit a new high, over 1 billion total hours watched. So they have not gone down since Q1 2019. Since the start of this report, it's been up, 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 up every single quarter, gradually, slowly, in some cases, but they did see a COVID bump, which was from 600 million to 970 million. So they got a nice COVID bump of viewership, and they continue to go upwards.
Dude, it looks like a hockey stick to me, man. That looks like a hockey stick to me.
Yeah.
Like Facebook gaming is crazy, dude. Look at this. This is a
really
year and a half.
consistent.
This is like a year and a
It's the
half of
most
data.
reliable.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. No dips, really. It just keeps going up, 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 nonstop. Guys, do you want to be on something that's going up straight up? Or do you want to be on something that looks a bit more wobbly and has dips and has unpredictable moments? I mean, I know that Perrin, I know this is why you've been streaming on Facebook gaming and why you've been seeing the majority of your growth there, right? I mean, the platform just keeps going up.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, it's just one of those things. I've been watching streaming since Twitch was just in that TV, and you could tell it's one of those opportunities. This might be one of the last ones we ever see, where if you get on it while it's early, while it's growing, you can be one of those creators that grows with the platform like you could in the beginning of Twitch. I don't know if we're going to ever see that again. Mixer failed at it. I don't really know if Trovo is going to be doing that. I don't really think DLive is going to be doing that. None of these other new players are going to do it. It's only going to be these mega juggernaut tech companies that are going to be able to pull this off and compete with Twitch now. Facebook's doing something here. So let's continue. Total hours streamed going straight up just along with it, though. Just what we like to see. In fact, I like this because check this out. It's super stable. Look how straight this line is. That's good, because if you see a really sharp increase in total hours streamed, that means you had a bunch of people flocking there, aka the ninja effect, where they bring in tons of zero concurrent viewership streamers, nobody's to stream a tons of hours. We've been worried about that. We think that would break the platform. That's what broke Mixer. We think that's part of why Mixer tanked. And now we don't see that with Facebook because they're making good decisions. They're not buying superstar talent, maybe because of this reason. Maybe they're smart enough. I don't know. But either way, it doesn't matter. This is solid, consistent growth that matches the total hours watched, which means we're not going to have that effect where suddenly supply is totally increased and it reduces the quality of the service as a whole for viewership. Viewership has to increase in tandem with hours streamed, with new streaming talent, so medium-sized creators can grow, because where is the success of these platforms happening? It's happening, at least on Facebook gaming, with the medium-sized creators building out the community, building out the fan base, bringing new viewers on board. I'm going to match this with CCV, I think, because it's going to be about the same picture here. Or actually unique channels, and then we'll hit CCV last. But unique channels, the same, almost the exact same line as total hours streamed, almost the exact same line as hours watched. It's all the same consistent growth all the way up. It's the most solid out of the three major ones for growth that looks like it's unshakable. And as long as they keep making good decisions, which they have been so far, it should theoretically stay this way. Do you have anything to add before we hit CCV, or do you want me to hit CCV? And then,
I mean, the thing I want to say for our audio listeners, the number of streamers on Facebook is still way lower than it is on Twitch and on YouTube right now. It's in, 267,000 there. YouTube's close to 1 million and Twitch is 10 million. So the amount of competition versus YouTube is roughly, 1/4. The amount of competition versus Twitch is like 1/30th. So your odds, just in terms of the number of bodies you got to compete with, is so much lower. But the competition is increasing rapidly. That's what this chart on the screen shows us, Perrin. And this is something, I think this opportunity is going to dry up by the end of next year. Seriously. I think you're right. This is going to be here, and then it's going to pass, just like that growth phase for Twitch and Justin TV. I mean, Q1 of 2019, there were only 27,000 channels on Facebook that were streaming. Now we have 267,000. So that is a 1,000% increase, a 10x increase in the number of channels on Facebook in about a year and a half. So in about a year from now, I wouldn't be surprised to see this over 1 million or so. And that's when Facebook becomes a lot less lucrative as an opportunity. Let's take a look at the next chart.
Yeah. And then, interesting, and this is something that I did not expect. And we saw, I've been drawing straight lines going up with all these charts in Facebook gaming. But when we get to that one number that we really, really care about as streamers, that's CCV, that concurrent viewership, this dropped. It dropped. So we had a nice COVID bump in the last quarter. We had from Q1 2020, we went from 256,000 1,000 concurrent viewers up to 379,000 concurrent viewerships. And then we've gone from that 379 down to 369. So not a huge decrease, but it is a plateau. It's a new high. They didn't quite hit 400,000, and now we've dipped. So all the other total hours watched have increased. New streamers have increased. Unique channels have increased, but the concurrent viewership has not increased. So we have, and this is the first time since Q1 2019, and I think since the inception of Facebook gaming, that this number has dropped from the previous quarter.
Yeah.
So
this is concerning. This is concerning to me.
Yeah, this is concerning. The opportunity that we've been talking about for the past year in this podcast is gone now. Like the time to get in early, you missed it. We're now here at this point where we're past the crest. You're not on the incline of more and more concurrent viewerships. Facebook gaming at this point, I would say, has carved out its mature, medium-sized creator base who will continue to grow. Now getting into that club is going to be harder because you missed out on this whole past year when we said, yeah, you should get in on it now. Now is the time. It's now becoming not so much the time anymore. You missed it. Okay. That doesn't mean you can't grow on Facebook gaming. Don't take me wrong here. I'm just saying that really lucrative opportunity, it's gone now. It's not completely gone, but where the amount like that really, really lucrative, it's still lucrative. Just you're not in the really, really, really nice spot anymore. And this is going to probably continue to waffle around, go up and down, and waver around this plateau, I bet, until the medium-sized creators slowly grow this CCV over time, because this is the point now where Facebook gaming is going to have to mature medium-sized creators into stars, and those are going to be the ones growing, not the new people so much. That's what you're going to see now. So if you missed it, I mean, there's still a little bit of time, but you got to scramble, and I would definitely be multi-streaming because it's going to be harder from this point past. It might be too critical here that the opportunity has passed us by. I mean, there's still obviously opportunity, but what's your take here?
Well, let's look at it by the numbers, boys. All right, let's recap. Twitch, there is 1/5 of a viewer per streamer there. So that makes it the worst opportunity in streaming. When it comes to YouTube, there's almost 1 viewer per streamer, as we saw from this report. And with Facebook, we just saw that there's 267,000 channels on Facebook, and there are 369,000 viewers at any given point on Facebook watching. So that means that there is more than 1 viewer per streamer on Facebook. So if you look at just where the odds are in your favor of viewers to channels, supply and demand, the very basic concepts that underlie all of this, Facebook is still the #1 opportunity to grow in streaming. YouTube is the #2 opportunity to grow in streaming. And Twitch's odds are so bad that we can barely even say that it's an opportunity, really. Like, is it an opportunity? I don't know. It's there. And maybe you can get people from the other platforms to go to Twitch to watch you there, but there's like basically nothing there on Twitch. That's just by the numbers. And we talked earlier about restreaming, but in order to really drive traffic to all of these different avenues, you need to have a robust YouTube strategy to come along with it, where you have clips, you have highlights, you have montages, you have guide videos. And Perrin, if you don't mind pulling up my AWOL Digital site, I've been coaching a lot of creators that are breaking out not only on YouTube, but they are actually moving over to streaming as well to diversify their revenue. Here, let me show you what I have going on here. So basically, if you want to book me for coaching, go to awoldigital.com, and you guys can click the schedule one-on-one coaching button, and I do one-on-one coaching with me. I've also got a coaching tool lower down on the page there, Perrin. If I just opened the floodgates, I quit my full-time job as a media executive, and I'm now coaching creators full-time. And if you guys want to book me, you can just literally go to my website right now, and you can book me one-on-one, and I can help you develop a custom strategy just for you to help you go full-time. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys because a bunch of our viewers have recently booked me. I'm starting to run out of slots on my coaching, and I want you guys to jump in there, secure your slot, do the one-on-one call with me. You tell me your opportunities, you tell me your challenges, you book me, and I help you grow. And I've got tons of creators out there that watch the show that could tell you how much they benefited from the service. So Perrin, going back to you.
Okay. So
what are your final thoughts on this report? And then let's go ahead and end the episode.
My final thoughts, YouTube actually looking kind of lucrative. Facebook continues to be strong, but we were seeing the beginnings of the end of that like gold rush era, I guess is a good way to put it. The gold rush is over. Now it's the fight. Now the fight gets real. If you haven't established yourself yet, it's going to start to get harder and harder and harder. Twitch, I mean, it's never been more competitive. It's super huge. It ate up all of Mixer. Ninja's back, Shroud's back, everything's back.
Uh-oh, we lost Perrin. Perrin, rest in peace, amigo. So things changed a lot in the streaming landscape, but more or less, what we can conclude here is that...
It's never been better to multi-stream.
Your internet cut out a moment ago. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the episode. So he was saying that it's never been better to multi-stream. All the big guys, I think you were saying, all the big guys have gone to the platforms they're going to go to. And you know what? It seems like it had no impact. We can do more content on that. It seems like it had no impact. And the bottom line is Twitch is still the big juggernaut platform. It's not really growing by that much anymore. It kind of declined, and it's going to still remain a huge market share, but there's virtually no growth opportunity there for you. Facebook gaming and YouTube gaming are where the growth opportunity are. And based on the numbers that we saw today, YouTube gaming might soon become more lucrative than Facebook gaming if Facebook gaming's viewership numbers don't increase again. If they stay where they're at right now, Perrin, I'm worried that Facebook gaming isn't really going to be that big of a growth opportunity. It's going to stay as a small niche platform, and a bunch of people are going to be piling in there, and they're not going to get the traction anymore. I mean, I've heard a lot of people complain about Facebook gaming recently and say, look, I'm not growing as much as I used to. Hey, I'm not getting the reach as much as I used to, and they're complaining about it. Well, it looks like that's just a platform-wide issue. The viewers just aren't freaking there. Perrin, are you seeing the same thing? I've seen that kind of complaint across the Facebook creator groups and also on subreddits and in our comments. People saying, I used to stream to Call of Duty Mobile. Now when I stream there, I get a third the views or half the views. I don't know, man. Is this opportunity passing us by? Is it still worth your time anymore?
I mean, it totally goes to how they do the algorithm. And Facebook's algorithm is pretty relentless. I've seen very, very mixed results. You know, Facebook's charts seem very consistent. I would say streaming there is a different story. It's very not nearly as consistent because of the way the algorithms work. The past month or two have been volatile for most of the established creators there. They're like, what's going on? My viewership is all over the place. I think what we're going to see is as unique channels increase, it will actually take away from established creators on Facebook due to the algorithm, and that's going to be an issue. So time will tell. Facebook might not even turn out to be a thing a year from now, but it still looks strong numbers-wise. These are all going to be decisions that Facebook has to make to keep it going, but they need to start ramping up that viewership, that concurrent viewership growth more, or they're going to run into problems because they haven't even hit large numbers yet. They're not really even on Twitch's radar at this point, to be honest. So time will tell. Will medium-sized creators be able to have a consistent audience there? If so, great. I don't know the answers to that yet. We just got to play the game and find out and see. And other than that, though, YouTube looking kind of nice right now. I'm kind of liking where that's going. And Twitch, man, Twitch is just going to be Twitch, I guess.
Start broadcasting, start growing. Don't just listen to our episodes. Do what we tell you is working by the numbers. Because if you don't, you're going to fall behind and you're going to miss the opportunities. We're here to help you unlock your creative potential, but it doesn't work if you don't take the action.